Hello, my Pixel peeps. Nicole Payne, CMA, here as always to drop some accounting truth bombs. And as promised, today is the next installment in our budget mini-series where we are talking about the payroll and labor budget. So buckle up and we are going to jump right in because there's a lot to cover and I don't want to keep you too long today because it's Monday and everybody's got stuff to do. So what we are going to do, I'm going to take just a second to get my screen all set up and shared so that we can dive right into this. Okay. All right. So you guys can now see that I have this Excel workbook all set up and it is beautiful and blank. And yes, I use Excel for all of my budgeting because I like to play with the formulas and I like to make sure that everything is just going to flow right in. Now, ideally, you would, if you've been following along with the budgeting, you already have another spreadsheet that has multiple sheets in it that show your sales and your cost of goods sold and your selling and administrative. And this would just be another tab down here in your budgeting worksheet or workbook. All right, so let's start filling this bad boy out. And I'm just going to say, I probably will not be looking at the camera as I'm talking to you because I'm going to look at my screen as I'm doing this. So follow along, and I apologize for not, making eye contact and all that fun stuff. Anyway, so as we start this workbook or this sheet for the payroll budget, first column is always going to be the employee. Because you need to know who you're talking about. I mean, what good is a payroll budget if you don't know who your employees are? Your next column will be your pay rates. Now, I recommend putting your pay rate in as an hourly rate, regardless of whether people are salary or if they have commissions. Break it down. Try to break it down by hourly rate because that will make all of your other formulas flow a lot easier. Okay, so once you have your pay rate, you also need to know how many hours they typically work. So I'll put an average hours per week. And then you'll want to know, I just hit the camera. Sorry, everybody. I hope I did not just make you sick. But okay, so once you know how many their average hours per week, this will also let you figure out the total pay per month. And then if you want to give them a raise, you'll want to make sure to note what type of raise they will be getting and when that raise will go into effect. Okay, so those are all the things that you'll want to know in terms of their pay. But our payroll isn't just about pay, it's also about benefits. So we want to think about all of the benefits that our employees have. Big one is paid time off. So a lot of companies don't budget for their employees' paid time off, even though they offered paid time off. And so when it comes time for employees to take paid time off, it comes as a surprise. It comes as a cost that we didn't necessarily plan for. So I always recommend that you budget for that PTO and assume that your employees are going to take all of the PTO that they have available to them. So we'll put that in here as PTO, paid time off. Other benefits. They could have health insurance. They could have dental or vision. Maybe they have a life insurance policy through the company. Or a cell phone stipend. Or maybe they have a vehicle stipend because they use their vehicle for the company. So what you'll want to do is make sure that all of these available benefits are listed as a column. and then you break it down by the cost per month. So then it's really easy to come in here and fill out your employee roster. So maybe you have Mary Smith and Katniss Everdeen and Paul, and let's see, who are some other cool people that we can put in our employee roster? That's good enough. Anyway, so then you would put in all of their information. And these columns here, the total pay per month, you would take this, you would multiply it, your pay rate, by the average hours worked per week, and then multiply it by either 52 over 12, or you can actually have it go based on when they get paid. So instead of doing an average hours per week, you can do per pay period and then calculate the pay periods that are in each month. Because some months are going to have 5 pay periods and some may only, or 3 pay periods if you're biweekly, 5 if you're weekly. And that will give you a better idea of when this is going to hit so that your expenses are matching when they should actually hit. So once you have this portion all figured out, you come over here and you have some additional line items. So all right, we're going to copy that over because I don't want to keep typing because I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. So then in here, you would actually calculate the total cost of this employee for that month. So again, this is where you could, instead of doing total pay per month, you could do total pay per pay period and then calculate how many pay periods over here. So this column here should include their salary, their wages, plus you want to take into effect any raise and when it's going to take into effect. You want to accrue their PTO. And what I do here with the PTO is I divide the PTO. So say they have 80 hours of PTO, I would divide that by the 52, multiply it by their pay rate, and add that on as part of their monthly. Their health insurance should be in here as a monthly amount. The dental should be in here. All of these benefits should be in here as monthly amounts. So you add those up, and that is the monthly cost for each employee. You copy that across for the entire year. You copy it down for all of the employees. And then at the very bottom, you would have a total cost for all employees. And that number would be the number that you factor into your payroll line items on your selling and administrative budget. So I hope that this was a good visual so that you can understand what you need to do here. And of course, if you have questions, if you're completely lost, feel free to reach out. My contact information is always at the end of the videos, but you can also drop a comment here or send me a Facebook message, and I will get back to you and help you figure out the best way to make sure that your budget is on point, because we want you to go into 2022 knowing what to expect and being able to grow your business in a controlled and very thought out process. Anyway, take care, and until next time, next week we will be talking about the cash budget, which is why all of these other budgets are really important, because the cash budget tells you whether or not you're actually going to be able to pay your bills. Anyway, take care, and we will see you next week.